They're very disruptive defensively with their length and their size in particular. We haven't turned it over 10 times and a half very often in 8 years. And, part of that was us being in a hurry, but part of it was certainly they were a little bit tougher than us. And, our plan was to try to keep them out of the paint. And to their credit, they hit 5 threes right away and got off to that good start. But honestly, I felt fortunate to only be down 5. With 10 turnovers and as bad as we shot free throws, I thought we were in about as good a place at halftime as we could possibly be. And then they only scored on 4 of their first 15 to start the second half possession-wise, and that allowed us to get back in the game, take the lead, and get our crowd into the game, which was obviously huge for us today.
Question for the student-athletes first.
It's just what did they do to kind of lock you up, and how did you eventually find sort of your rhythm there late?
The game plan for us was to attack the basket, and early on in the game, in the first half, they were really clogging the paint, and I was holding the ball too long when I was getting in the paint. And in the second half, I really just slowed down and just try to make my reads and get to my right spots. I got great teammates around me, and I know everybody else they're gonna have a lot of eyes on them because how good they've been playing this season. So I just tried to settle in and get easy layups going into the second half.
What was your reaction when they out of timeout? They went 1-3-1 that and showed that zone all day.
I was definitely surprised to see that. And, I just seen it out of the first play, that spot I had, and I knew I could shoot it. So I was just waiting until Taz got it again, and he set it up and gave me a great pass, and I knocked it down.
Did it feel at all like the Northwestern game for you? When, slow start offensively, you're probably, not in any kind of rhythm whatsoever, but when it came down to crunch time, you needed to make a play?
That was the exact feel for me. I just couldn't get a rhythm in that first half, and the same feeling in Northwestern. But, something that Coach Mack has been telling me over and over, just be calm and be patient, and everything's going to go your way, Big thing he told me was get it done on defensive end. I don't feel my talk was as loud as it usually is on defense, and I picked it up in the second half, and it got me going on offensive end.
Just one more, Marcus. You, against Baylor, I don't know if it was a grinded-out game, and obviously you're the go-to guy in those moments. Was there something that you took away from that game, that way it finished, that maybe applied to today?
In the Baylor game, I just felt like I was trying to be too much of the hero. Like I wanted to do everything and make shots, and I was taking some forceful shots. And this time, I just tried to calm down and get some layups instead of threes.
Gotcha.
For both guys, what changed defensively towards maybe the end of the first half? They seemed to be pretty efficient offensively, but they hit a cold spell. They never kind of got themselves out of there for the rest of the game.
A big part of it was switching on to their guards. So when we switched on, we had to keep Watson to his left hand. He likes getting right, likes getting to that pull-up. So we were trying to keep him to his left. I think we did a better job of that, and we did a better job rebounding.
Ronnie, how did you? It looked like you had maybe control of your emotions isn't the right word, but you were able to sort of mix in some energy, but also play within yourself.
Yeah.
How were you able to do that in a game that was so intense and kind of going back and forth there for a while in the first half?
I've been around for a while, so I kind of knew what I was going into. Big game. Nebraska hasn't won in a while, so I knew they was going to be emotional. And Coach Mack told us before the game, let emotion be our friend and not let it take over us. So I kept that in my mind, kept taking deep breaths, and just rode with my guys.
2 more for the student athletes.
I think they went to you a couple times, maybe a roll and a post up or something. In the second half, did you recognize a matchup there that favored you, or you just?
That was actually our coaches recognizing what they was doing defensively. So they put me in that position to slip out of some screens, catch them off guard, and I was just the one finishing.
Gotcha.
Anything else?
I guess, Marcus, what's to say about this team to win a game like this? Because it's not your style of play, and Nebraska sort of dictated tempo, but when it came down to it, you made the plays in the end. What's it say about this team?
We're moving along where we want to be, You look back at us 3 weeks ago when we were in Kansas City, we couldn't grind out game out against Baylor. And now this week we figured out how to grind it out. And, it's just that time of the year where you're trying to get better because, the conference play is coming up towards the end of the month.
Thank you, gentlemen. Continue with questions for Coach Greg McDermott.
You guys out rebounded it by 10 today. I guess how much was that, just that toughness factor?
Well, a lot of it was they were sending everybody back on defense, so there weren't a lot of guys around to offensive rebounds. So, I mean, that's a big part of that. And you know, we shot a better percentage than them, so obviously there's more defensive rebounds to be had. But I thought our guys did it, like I said, defensively. Even the first half, they had 33 points on 35 possessions, which that's good enough to keep you in games. And but I thought we executed our game plan really well, and obviously Taz's foul trouble concerned me, and we were able to keep Glenn in check, even with him on the bench.
How are you able to? I mean, I think they only scored 2 points after all of your 14 turnovers, maybe. How are the team able to, not get so frustrated to the point where they were missing assignments and not communicating?
Well, you know, we got back on a few occasions after a turnover and got our defense put together. And, you know, Nebraska, their plan was obviously not to be very fast-paced. So even on some of the turnovers, they weren't off to the races because they wanted to slow it down. I think it was a 67 or 68 possession game, which is probably by far the lowest, maybe right there with Baylor, that we played this year. So, and I'm just really proud of our team. You know, like I said, I thought Ronnie's energy was outstanding. Mitch Ballack, after a slow start, hits the huge shot out of the timeout on the out-of-bounds play, and that really got our crowd into the game. And you know, I thought the momentum shifted there and stayed with us the rest of the game.
It seemed like you mentioned that play off the timeout. There were other plays. It seemed that you guys maybe just executed a little bit better in the second half. Did you get that sense?
We scored a couple baskets on out-of-bounds plays, and I don't think they did. And, you know, those are kind of the special teams of basketball. So you have to execute those types of things and try to stop what they're doing. And, you know, the challenging thing is sometimes you throw a play at the guys that you don't, you know, we hadn't ran that play all year. And they executed it. The timing, the spacing was perfect. And then, of course, Mitch has to make the shot.
When you see Nebraska in that 1-3-1 coming out of the timeout with a minute left, what do you want to see from your offense? What has to happen?
Well, we had prepared for it. They've used it enough this year, and Mike must have got it from Xavier. It's what Xavier's played in the past, and with the big guy in the bottom. So we've seen it before, and we've worked on it in practice this week in preparation for it. So we screened the top of it and got underneath the big guy, and then, you know, Taz made it. You put the guy in the backside in a tough, impossible spot. He's either got to take Marcus or you got Mitch Ballack standing in the corner. So pick your poison. So. Not, you know, certainly caught us off guard, but not to the point that we hadn't practiced it. So, you know, they didn't have any timeouts left. I certainly didn't want to give them one there.
Would you like to have seen your team maybe settle down a little bit sooner than it did?
It's a big game, John. I mean, and most of these guys have not played in this game. You know, our freshmen, I think, were, 1 of 9 at halftime or 0 of 9, something like that at halftime. And we're only down 5, and they're out on the floor a bunch. And Kyrie's sitting over next to me, and Martine's sitting over next to me. And I was thrilled with where we were at.
I guess, how would you assess Ronnie's defense, especially when he got switched on to Watson? It seemed like we were okay switching that, but
Nebraska's really hard to guard when they go small, you know, because, you know, when Copeland's making shots and Roby's making shots, obviously we know McVay can make shots, so you have to respect that. But, you know, we were a second late to a couple of those guys, Copeland and Roby, and, you know, Roby hit a huge one at the top of the key that cut it to 1 inside 4 minutes, I think. So, you know, they're hard to guard when you're rolling a typical center out there. And, you know, we tried to keep changing matchups the best we could to keep so, you know, Tim wouldn't have an idea of who he was going to draw the play for out of the timeout. And our guys executed it pretty well. But to Nebraska's credit, you know, they made us pay for some of those mistakes too. Tim drew up some good stuff.
Marcus's shot selection at the end of the game, just the plays that he made, I guess. I mean, they were all high percentage looks, and he's your go-to guy. Did you like the?
We got him in the post a couple times. You know, obviously we didn't shoot the three-point shot well, and for the most part, I liked the looks we got. But I think the guys just kept moving. And the first half, Nebraska, when you penetrate, they collapse, and when you jump in the air, as soon as you jump in the air, they can start to get back, and that's where they're deflecting passes and stealing passes. Second half, we talked to the team. You need to penetrate. You need to set your feet. You need to be strong. You need to be powerful. Now when they collapse, they feel like they have to stay. Now you can spray it. Now you're attacking the second side, and better things happen. So, you know, I wouldn't have guessed a 5 for 21 from the three-point line would have been good enough for us to win today, especially with them making 9 threes. But, you know, we executed some other things where we got some easy baskets.
3 more for Coach.
It's probably easier to answer this question, given that you won the game, but with the extended coaches back, you're a little bit closer to Tim, and it looked like you guys had some fun with each other back and forth.
Tim and I have been friends a long time, and we're going to be friends a long time from now. So, you know, I pull for his team when they're not playing us.
I don't know what the number was. You might have scored on your last
9.
9 possessions. Why was this team able to settle in and make the plays when it took 2 and out?
Well, the crowd got into it. They ran out of timeouts, so they couldn't stop it. And our guys, you know, our spacing was good. We executed some plays extremely well, and then on a couple of them, it's guys going to make a play. Marcus Foster misses, gets his rebound, puts it, sticks it back in. Ronnie gets deep, misses a layup. Martine comes flying in, tips it in. So, you know, second effort plays ended up being the difference there late in the game. And we made our free throws.
Anything else?
Thank you.